Welcome to the Beat It with Joe podcast. This show is dedicated to exploring the intersection of mental health and performance. As an advanced gazing red to blue coach, Gallup strengths coach, therapist, and mindfulness coach, I interview professional athletes, coaches, and those who support them. However, today's episode takes a different but equally relevant approach. I firmly believe that mental health is crucial for optimal performance. And if you're interested in the Beat It with Joe Player Wellness program, which is designed to help you perform under pressure, discover your strengths, and become the best version of yourself, please reach out. So November holds special significance for men's mental health, particularly as we observe Movember. This movement aims to raise awareness about critical men's health issues, including mental health, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. During Movember, men are encouraged to grow mustaches, to spark conversations and promote discussions around these important topics. Moreover, Movember often brings increased social pressures due to upcoming holiday seasons. Events like Christmas and end-of-year parties can lead to heightened stress and feelings of isolation for many men. These gatherings frequently involve alcohol, which can add to the pressure to drink and socialize, potentially exacerbating existing mental health issues or leading to new challenges. In this episode, we'll share a powerful story of 20 years of sobriety, a narrative that aims to provide comfort and hope for those facing similar struggles. Hearing about the journey of overcoming challenges and achieving long-term sobriety can inspire and reassure individuals seeking support. It also highlights healthy alternatives to cope with holiday pressures and social situations. So please consider sharing this episode with anyone who might be struggling and could benefit from our discussion. So thank you for joining us and enjoy listening. "20 years of sobriety. Today I celebrate 20 years of sobriety, and people ask me if that means absolutely no drinking, not even one sip. That means absolutely not even one sip. I even won't eat food if it has alcohol in it. I've had no alcohol at all, absolutely nothing. 24 years ago, when I started my journey of recovery, I was diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and I was told that I was a binge alcoholic. I was only 28. And I had to stop drinking. I was angry and I was in huge denial. I didn't drink all the time or daily, but when I did drink, I couldn't stop. I always wanted more and more. I was always the one who wanted to chase the party longer and harder. And once my first drink was in, then I absolutely couldn't stop. I was then able to remain sober for 2 years. And then with some encouragement from friends who didn't understand addiction, I decided that maybe I'd try again. So I tried on and off for another 2 years, and that didn't go well at all. So on the 12th of October 2004, I took my last intake of alcohol. So my sobriety date is the 13th of October 2004, and that was the beginning of my true sobriety. So what did I do differently? I went to meetings. I surrounded myself with family and friends who supported me and understood what was required. I rescued 2 kittens and knew they needed me to look after them. I made them my initial purpose for sobriety. And they died at 18. So it was good that I stayed sober for their success story. When I went out, I always made sure that there was a plan B so that I could leave functions if I needed to. I discovered meditation, and this was the most wonderful gift as it helped reduce and manage my ongoing anxiety. I went to a therapist regularly. I learned to stop being a victim and realized that I couldn't drink like other people and that I was never going to be able to. I learned to take responsibility for my life choices and my behavior. I started to notice the beauty around me. I appreciated sunrises and tracked sunsets, and I realized that alcohol was not going to enhance the sunset. It was incredible all on its own. No help needed to enhance it. I started to enjoy my own company and stopped searching for external stimulation. This was aided by learning to say no to things I didn't want to do or that made me feel uncomfortable. Setting boundaries was a huge part of my recovery. I developed hobbies like crafting and can spend so much time doing them. Initially, I joined crafting groups, and then as I gained more confidence, I started to craft on my own. I stopped judging and competing with others. I learned to be less critical of myself and more accepting. I started to realize that what I thought about myself was far more important than others' opinions. I learned to turn the wine glasses over at restaurants or at functions so that the waiter didn't draw attention to me. I went back and studied psychology and focused my thesis on addiction. I worked in clinics and treated other addicts. I discovered that balance was something I had to work on. I always pushed for more, and I realized that finding balance was going to. Part of my work, I did corporate workshops on addiction, explained to them how addiction starts, what it looks like, the progression of the disease, and how to face recovery. In the beginning, alcohol took away my anxiety and made me feel free and calm. In the end, it elevated my anxiety and sunk me deep into depression. So what has replaced the drink to manage anxiety? Meditation and breathing are my number one go-to for managing it. Yoga works well too. Cycling gives me the feeling of being free and calm. Cold water swimming covers reducing anxiety, making me feel free and calm, and I absolutely love it. And nature is my go-to place. So the struggles that I faced over the past 20 years. I think at the beginning, one of the biggest struggles I had was accepting my label. I couldn't spell the word alcoholic, and I stuttered over the word. That's how deep my denial was. Going out to social functions was very uncomfortable. And I think one of the other really important things that I needed to find was my self-confidence. And that has really taken many, many years to rebuild, because I'd taken myself to a place of probably self-loathing, and I had to rediscover myself and start building my self-confidence. And even now, there are times that I don't think I'm good enough or qualified enough or whatever. But self-confidence is one of the things that took the greatest hits. Finding an answer as to why I'm not drinking is one of the things that really I struggled with when people kept on pushing and asking, especially when I was younger. I struggled with being at functions and listening to drunk people repeat their story over and over again. I am struggling now being open to the journey of teenagers and the social norms and what I think is appropriate versus the social pressures that exist today. I am totally intolerant of drunk people. I walk away and I will leave a party or a scene if I need to. So what my life looks like through sober eyes. My relationship with my parents is authentic and close. I have less bad luck happening to me. Before sobriety, chaos followed me wherever I went. In reality, by choosing to drink, I created mayhem for myself and those around me. I have choice over the company that I keep. I trust slowly, but enjoy the deep relationships I choose to have. My children have a totally sober, consistent, reliable, and present mum. They have only ever known me to be a sober mum. My days are long and full of things I like doing. I chase life every day with gratitude and find so much joy in nature, my children, close relationships, and my animals. I've learned to be present and mindful of the moment in front of me, and I don't want to miss out on the beauty and the moments. As long as I'm healthy and able, I want to chase life and embrace it wholeheartedly. I still struggle with anxiety and depression, but I do know that I have the tools and an incredible support system, which includes my friends, family, and animals. And I also know that those feelings will pass. I have learned over the 20 years that conflict, violence, negativity, loud noise, aggression, and bullshit really drains me. Having developed self-awareness over the past 20 years, I've learned to walk away and step away when I feel those uncomfortable feelings. I discovered through going back to study at the age of 32 that I enjoyed the process of learning. I loved working in mental health, and I now work in mental performance. I'm mainly working with sports people, and I love doing that. I love doing courses and growing. I love learning from my clients, as I know that everyone is unique and have their own story to tell and needs to meet. I love spending time with like-minded people and sharing ideas. I hate alcohol. I hate the destruction it causes, the collateral damage it has to families and everybody around it. It creates verbal abuse, conflict, physical and sexual abuse, accidents, and it contributes to mental health deterioration. It has the ability to take one's power away. For some, it means loss of finances, jobs, relationships, families, and friends. With it goes self-confidence, self-worth, and purpose. In my early sobriety, I got divorced. I had been sober for 8 years, and someone asked if I would consider drinking again. My answer was that I would never give my power to someone else. I would never drink because of somebody else. My children are everything to me, and they deserve the best version of me. So what does my life look like for me 20 years later? I'm a mother of 2 beautiful and healthy teenagers who face the challenges of being teenagers in the 2020s. I'm divorced and I'm remarried, and I have stepchildren. I still have depression and anxiety, but I'm medicated. I do lots of holistic healing practices. I spend time in nature. I exercise and I travel. I try to eat as clean as possible to give my body and mind a fighting chance. I never ever wish that I could drink again, as I have a firm memory of my relapse, and I never wish for that chaotic, blurred life again. I actually never liked the taste of alcohol. I only liked the taste of beer. But I loved that feeling when I first drank of being relaxed and carefree. But in the end, it amplified my anxiety. I'm now married to a man that doesn't drink much at all and totally has my back. He will ask a waiter if there's alcohol in food or puddings, etc., which really helps enormously. I speak openly to my children about alcohol and what they need to look out for. I don't tell them not to try it, as that's an unrealistic expectation. It does, however, concern me about the social pressures and expectations. But I need to let that go and just be there as a non-judgmental and supportive parent. I now have small friendship groups, but I treasure those friendships. I feel the full range of emotions, from happy, joy, calm, angry, anxious, disappointed, uncertain, etc. I procrastinate, and when feeling depressed, struggle to get motivated. But by setting small and manageable goals, I know those feelings will shift. I know for sure that movement is key for shifting my feelings. So when those emotions arise, I notice them, and I know that good and bad feelings come and go, and that's okay. I know I have choice, and if I drank again, that power of choice no longer exists. I have used my experience and all my studies to have a very fulfilling job as a coach and therapist, where I can help people to be the best version of themselves. I love my work, and I'm very grateful to people for believing in me and inviting me to be part of their journeys. I continue to live in the moment. I continue to live mindfully, and as long as I breathe, I will chase life for the healthy things that bring me joy and fill my heart. My wish for you is that you find balance, joy, and fulfillment. And thank you for listening. So you will realize that this was my personal journey. And if you found it helpful, please consider leaving a review and subscribing to the Beat It with Joe YouTube channel. You can also subscribe to the Performance Dynamics podcast, where myself and Gareth Ewing discuss mental performance in sport and in business. You can find and subscribe to the audio podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can also support by subscribing and sharing this podcast on your social media platforms. Have a happy Movember.
Please be advised that this podcast discusses topics related to mental well-being, personal experiences, and societal issues. The views and opinions expressed by the host and the guests are personal and may not reflect the views of everyone in the community. While we aim to inspire and support, please remember that individual experiences with mental health and sports can vary significantly. If you or someone you know is facing challenges related to mental health or requires support, we strongly encourage seeking professional help. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we hope you find motivation and encouragement in our conversations.